Good morning, everyone. I'm Lyra B. Anogat. Our lesson for today is all about totality of decision. The objective of these lessons are first, you will able to understand the different decision-making process in compensation. What are the similarities and differences in strategies? Third, establishing and maintaining an organization's pay structure and benefits packages are the principal responsibilities of a compensation and benefits manager. Totality of decision. When we say totality of decision, it refers to considering all aspects and factors before making a choice. It means it taking into account all the information, options, and consequences to make the best decision possible. Also, it involves a comprehensive and thorough evaluation process. Employee compensation can be the deciding factor in whether or not a candidate accepts a job position. It can also the deciding factor in whether a company can afford to hire additional employees. Every organization, large and small, must determine the pay structure for its employees. Compensation and benefits administrators are the key specialists in charge of managing the impact of compensation and benefits packages on an organization's bottom line while ensuring fair and equitable pay rates for employees. So, employee compensation is really important for getting people to apply for jobs and deciding how many employees a company can hire. There are specialists called compensation and benefits administrators who make sure employees are paid fairly and the company can afford it. Also, they come up with a good pay program and they keep an eye on industry rules and they try to find a balance between attracting good employees and paying them well. So here are the three compensation strategies. First, we have tailored the compensation to the business strategy. Second, case steps in formulating a total compensation strategy. Lastly, source of competitive advantage. Three, test best practices versus best fit. Based of my research, tailoring compensation to the business strategy, it involves designing a pay system that aligns with the organization goals. This includes performance-based incentives, skills-based pay, variable structures, career progression, market competitiveness, and holistic rewards. So by doing this, organization it can motivate, develop, and retain talent to achieve strategic or objectives, and it ensure long-term success. In key steps in formulating a total compensation strategy, it involves defining objectives, conducting a needs analysis, determining a compensation philosophy, developing a pay structure, designing compensation components, implementing communication and transparency, and monitoring and evaluating the strategy. So by following the steps, organization can create a comprehensive and effective compensation strategy that aligns with their goals, attracts and retain talent, and drives employee performance and engagement. Lastly, competitive advantages can be evaluated through best practices and best fit test. So, in best practices is assesses industry standard practices, while best fit examines customized strategies. So both approaches can lead to advantage depending on goals and resources. Companies should assess their situation to determine the best approach. That's all. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. My name is Niños V. Asahed, and I will be the second reporter of this group. So my report is about the similarities and differences in strategies. The greater the alignment or between organizational strategy and the compensation system, the more the effective the organization. Companies face different condition, customers, and talent, and therefore need different pay strategies. Kung na-align ang strategy na gibuhat sa inyong company ug maayo pod ang compensation, the more pod siya na effective ang inyong organization. So ang company lahi-lahi na kung ang company lahi-lahi sitwasyon, lahi-lahi pod og product, then lahi-lahi pod sila customer. Therefore, lahi-lahi pod ang ginagamit na strategy. Ang isa ka company na gagamit og strategy, ga-focus na sila sa compensation og para pod masustain nila ang ilahang pagiging competitive sa ilang company. Ang strategy kay choice or decision pod na sa organization or kanang inyo lang in order to achieve their objectives. Ang competitive na company pod syempre mag-result jud siya better performance compares to other competitors. The differences in firm strategy should be supported by corresponding differences in human resource, including the compensation. That's all, everyone, and thank you for listening.
Good day everyone, my name is Eric Bustamante. So this is a continuation sa report namo. So the minimum wage of regional, agricultural, and non-agricultural. So this Article 97 of the Labor Code provides the wage paid to any employee shall mean the remuneration of earnings. So when we say remuneration, it is the total compensation received by the employee. So it includes base pay, salary, bonuses, commission, and overtime payment. So under this law, wage means the monetary of remuneration of earnings payable by an employer to the employee under the written or unwritten contract of the employment or for work done or to be done, or service rendered or to be rendered. So as the employee, you need to understand or to know the minimum wage in different region or even the country kung asa man ka nagtrabaho. So ang minimum wage rates varied from different country to country within different region, and they are determined by the local and regulation. So for example in Manila, so on July 16, 2023, so bago pa, the minimum wage dito sa Manila for non-agricultural is almost 610 pesos. While sa agricultural naman is 573. So ikumpara nato siya sa diri sa Davao City. So ang minimum wage sa Davao City sa non-agricultural sector, industrial, commercial, or even retail services. So have a set of minimum wage rate about 443. So mas taas og kalahian dito sa Manila, mas dako sa Manila. And then sa agricultural naman is nara sa minimum wage about 438. So we need to understand as an employee na we know our rights, and even sa minimum wage sa lugar o sa imong ginatrabahuan is para dili ka ma-underpay, di ba? And then sa overtime sad So, Article 97 of the Labor Code promotes practices and protect welfare of employees in the workplace. So, under this law, the employer are obligated to keep accurate records of their employee working hours and ensure that they are fairly compensated for any overtime works. Even food and lodging were provided and considered as facilities by the employee. So the employer could not deduct such as facilities from its work wages. So without compliance of the law, so failure to comply these requirements can lead to legal consequences for the employer. So the purpose of fixing the minimum wage is to ensure that all workers are paid fair and adequate wage for their labor. By setting a minimum wage, government aim to reduce poverty, improve living standard, and provide workers with a basic level of financial security. So a fair day's wage for a fair day's labor. So these principles emphasize the idea that workers should be paid a wage that is based on the efforts and values they contribute to their work. So this concept is foundational to the labor movements and the establishment of the labor rights and protection. So in other words, no work, no pay.
Hello everyone. So my discussion is the continuation of the report by Ms. Nina Rosa Sahed. But before that, allow me to introduce myself. So my name is Marika Barsaman and I will be the second reporter on our group, which is Group 8. So our discussion is all about the Article 122 of the Labor Code. So let's begin. In this article, it tackles about the amendment by Republic Act 6727 approved on June 9, 1989. The regional tripartite wages productivity boards have fixed minimum wages rates therein and to issue wage orders subject to guidelines issued by the National Wages and Productivity Commission. So it is applicable on region, provinces, or industries. Next is the Republic Act of 6640. It provides that all workers and employees in the government sector on daily wages basis shall receive an increase in sum of 10 pesos per day, and the workers and employees in some sector, whether agriculture or non-agricultural, shall receive an increase of 10 pesos per day, except on non-agricultural worker employees outside Metro Manila who shall receive an increase on 11 pesos per day. So it means that the workers and employees of the some sector, whether agriculture or non-agricultural, shall receive an increase of 10 pesos per day, while the increased subject to certain exception minimum wage rate by 25 per day, the workers and employee in private sectors also been issued by the regional tripartite wages and productivity boards. So that's all for my assigned topic, and the continuation of this report will be discussed by the next reporter. Thank you.
So good morning everyone, I am Petswar Angelo Pinosa, and for my report it's all about the Regional Tripartite Wages and Productivity Board of National Capital Region. It approves a 10 pesos minimum wage hike. So the Regional Tripartite Wages and Productivity Board of National Capital Region issued wage order number NCR 20, granting a 10 pesos basic wage increase to minimum wage earners in Metro Manila starting June 2. So the RTWPB of NCR issued wage order granting or in order to have an increase of a 10 peso basic wage to the previous minimum wage earners in Metro Manila, effective starting on June 2. So upon its effectivity, the cost of living allowance or COLA of 15 pesos under the previous wage order was integrated into the basic wage, and a new COLA of 10 pesos was also granted. So upon its effectivity, there's from the previous 15 pesos COLA or cost of living allowance integrated, added also the 10 peso COLA of the new issued wage order to increase the minimum wage and of minimum wage earners of Metro Manila. So this brought the new minimum wages in the region to 454 pesos for workers in the agricultural sector, plantation and non-plantation, retail service establishments employing 16 workers or less, and manufacturing establishments regularly employing less than 10 workers, and 491 pesos for workers in non-agriculture, including hospitals and with less or with 100 or less bed capacity, a sector which used to have lower minimum wage. So, upon the effectivity of the wage order issued, so this brought the new minimum wages in the region to 454 pesos for workers though in the agricultural sector, either plantation and non-plantation. So, retail service establishments employing 16 workers or less, and manufacturing establishments regularly employing less than 10 workers. So we have also retail or service establishments that has 16 workers or less, and those who are in manufacturing establishments regularly regularly employing less than 10 workers. And also we have 491 pesos for workers in non-agriculture, including hospitals, small hospitals, because it has with 100 or less bed capacity. So it's a limit also, and a sector which used to have lower minimum wage. So the effectivity of a 491 pesos uh, for those in the non-agriculture or including hospitals, those have also have lower minimum wage as the limit of having this particular minimum wage. So the wage order allows exemption so for distressed establishments, retail and service establishments employing not more than 10 workers, an establishment adversely affected by natural calamities or human-induced disasters. So the wage order allows exemption for distress. So we have distressed establishments, retail and service establishments employing not more than 10. So these particular establishments or particular company has not more than 10 workers, so they are exemption from the wage order because they lack the numbers to proceed for the effectivity of the wage order. So workers and establishment adversely affected by natural calamities, so this is pretty common. Natural calamities, we have typhoon, earthquake, and or human-induced disasters, or we have some technical problems inside. And yeah, for the particular human-induced disasters, for the exemption of the wage order issued uh, by the National Capital Regions, um, Regional Tripartite Wages and Productivity Board. So that's all for my report. So the Regional Tripartite Wages and Productivity Board, so of the National Capital Region, which issued wage order number NCR 20, granting a 10 pesos basic wage increase to minimum wage earners in Metro Manila starting June 2.
Good morning. I'm Ayla Ronco and I'm the last reporter of this group. Then my first assigned topic is wage order. allows exemption for distressed establishments, new business enterprises, retail and service establishments employing not more than 10 workers, and establishments adversely by natural calamities and/or human-induced disasters. A wage order allows certain businesses to be exempt from following specific wage regulations. This applies to businesses that are struggling financially, newly established businesses, small retail or service establishments, and those affected by disasters. The goal is to provide some relief and flexibility in wage requirements. It's important to remember that the specific details may vary depending on the location. Next, new wage order. Simplify the minimum wage structure in the region with the reclassification of retail service establishments employing more than 10 workers into the non-agricultural sector. In summary, a new wage order has been implemented in a specific region. To simplify the minimum wage structure, this involves classifying retail and service establishments with more than 10 employees into the non-agriculture sector. The goal is to bring clarity and ensure that these businesses adhere to the appropriate wage regulations for their sector. It's important to consider that the details of this wage order may vary depending on the region. Next, agriculture has two aspects, namely primary and secondary. The primary aspects cover the cultivation and tillage of the soil, daily the production, cultivation, growing, and harvesting of any agricultural and horticultural commodities, and the raising of livestock or poultry, while the secondary aspects cover any practice performed by a farmers on a farm as an incident to or in conjunction with the farming operations. Primary aspects is making food, taking care of environment, and supporting the economy. They help provide us with things like milk, fruits, vegetables, meat, and eggs. While the secondary aspects of farming are additional tasks that farmers do to support the main farming activities, these tasks include maintaining farm infrastructure, ensuring equipment is in good condition, managing records, promoting and selling farm products, and exploring new income opportunities. Although not the main focus, these tasks are crucial for the farm's smooth operations and long-term success. And that's all.